Hi everyone, welcome to Smart Career Planning. I'm really excited about our guest today. This is how I come across this information. I sent a really big, large email out to, well, an email out to a large network asking for suggestions on guest speakers, and all of them pointed me to Erin Wilson. So, without further ado, I think he will be a much better person to describe what he does and about his company and his platform. Hi, Erin.
Hey, how's it going, Helen? Thanks for having me.
Good. Thank you for your time as well. So we'd love to find out a little bit more about you, about your company, what you do, what led you to creating this company.
Yeah, absolutely. And for myself, I'm just a kid from Chino, but I've been in recruiting for almost 10 years now. I started as an agency recruiter, eventually moved in-house to a company called Brightroll, and then after spending some time at Yahoo post-acquisition, I quit my job to found hirepool. So now I'm a first-time founder. Um, and hirepool it's like a CRM for the job seeker. So I've always been an candidate advocate and spending a lot of time talking to job seekers, realized that the process they experience when finding a job or making one of the most important decisions in their life, um, it's broken, and it has been for a long time. And I think as I was deciding what to do next, um, I'm really passionate about this problem. I don't see somebody else solving it in a meaningful way, and so my co-founder and I decided to quit and take a crack at it.
Nice. Yeah, where are you at with the development of your platform?
Yeah, so we're early days. So we quit our jobs in August of last year, and in November we launched the private version or the MVP. We're still in private mode, although the app has matured quite a bit. So I'd still consider it early days in that sense, but it is active. We do have thousands of job seekers on the platform. We've helped a number of people find jobs and even had them come back as returning users, not for new jobs, but for additional advice and guidance in their career. So it's a pretty special feeling.
Good. Now you said it's a CRM for job seekers, but how does that work?
Yeah, well, I don't know if you've searched for a job recently, but it's a really fragmented process out there. And so, what people typically do is they end up going to a series of job boards. 10 different job boards is not uncommon. They create a series of alerts. They have notes, they have emails, their LinkedIn inbox, their text. And it's a lot to keep up with, and especially in a process where you want to be on top of everything and make sure you're putting your best foot forward. So what we've built is just a really simple place. We like to think it's welcoming. One place for you to organize all of that. So every job you apply to, all the interviews you go to, all the people you talk to, it's one place to keep all of that neatly organized. And does a little more than that, but to start, we'll keep it there.
Good, good, good. And does all of the information stay on your platform, or can is it downloadable?
So you can't export it today, but our counter to that is we're not going anywhere. This
Hmm.
is not a pivot play where we turn it into a recruiting advertising platform, or we pivot a year from now into a task management platform. I mean, we're 100% dedicated to the job seeker and long tail being a career platform. So anything you put in there today, when you come back in the future, it'll be there. And we even have current users that go back and enter data from previous job searches so that they can compile it all there,
Hmm.
um, and have it run in the application.
Good. And now, is it from an end user perspective, is it pretty welcoming to people in different industries, or is there a specific focus for end users?
Yeah, I mean, I know people who appreciate focus probably want a better answer than this, but surprisingly, when we shared it privately and gave access to our existing users to share as well, we quickly onboarded users from 28 different countries and
Oh,
every
wow.
vertical you can think of or industry.
Hmm.
Um, Admittedly, what we found is that for US based users as well as corporate job functions, it tends to be most impactful. We're not industry specific in that sense, but I think if you work in a corporate environment, whether that's tech or non-tech, Fortune 50 or startup, but you have a pretty standard job function, you're going to get use out of the application.
Good, good, good. Now, in what ways have some of our beta customers used this platform to land a job?
Yeah, I mean, I think we talk to users all the time about the experience we're delivering, and so how do we make you feel?
Hmm.
Obviously, getting a job is the ideal outcome, but our first goal is to really make the process better, and we believe the job will come. So early feedback from users has been they felt very productive. I mean, a user recently just said, "I've been signed in for 24 hours. I felt more productive in your app than I have the past couple of weeks in my job search." Other experiences people describe are having more focus, or just feeling like they have general support, in a process that otherwise can feel very isolating and discouraging at times.
Good, good, good. And that makes perfect sense too. For me being an in-house recruiter, a lot of times I see the same candidate applying to very different jobs from, a director of marketing to sales engineers to a channel salesperson. I'm like, don't you have some kind of focus? So in part, I'm thinking they just haven't gathered that information. Once they see a job, they just apply because maybe there's some relationship between what he or she does in their path to this particular position. So I think the platform is going to be perfect for active job seekers.
Yeah, well, and you know, not to mention every other blog that you read out there or coach you talk to is talking about you have to stand out and you have to apply to more, and they're always pushing more and more and more. And I think we're contrarian in the sense that we don't advise; we advise more quality over quantity. And so, part of our hope there is helping people organize and then improve performance with the interviews they do have coming up, as opposed to identifying more places for them to apply. There are plenty of job boards out there. There aren't as many applications out there or any that we've found that truly help you focus on improving your conversion rate when it comes to applications to interviews or interviews to offers.
Now, I actually tried to sign up, not that I'm a job seeker, but I really wanted to see, from an end user perspective, what it's like to use your platform. But there's a beta code, I suppose, that I need to have. And so can you tell us a little bit more about that? And the follow-up question too is, since it's not easily accessible to many, what is that experience like when someone goes on, when someone uses your platform? Do they key in information about the interviewers, their titles, and then the content of the conversation, or what does that look like?
Yeah, absolutely. So, for anyone that's listening here on the podcast, if you check out hirepool.io, go to create account, it'll ask you for an access key, and you can use the access key Karma, capital KARMA, hyphen 920, and you can get into the app. But today when you get into the app, Helen, I think your experience is first thing we have to educate people on is it's not a job board, as we've mentioned before. So you don't search for jobs. We don't recommend jobs.
Hmm.
It's where you aggregate things you've already started prospecting or applying to. But as you begin to inform us of where you're applying, we start to do simple tasks for you. For
Mm.
example, if you tell me you're applying to a position at Stripe, we've introduced the concept of an interview guide where we aggregate other online resources you might go out and search to prepare for an interview or research that company. We bring all of that to you. So without ever leaving the app, one click, 1 second after you tell us where you're interviewing, you've got meaningful information in front of you to prepare. You can ask people in your network we call collaborators for insight. So if I'm going to interview at Docker, and I know my friend Helen works there, I of course want to ask Helen what she can share with me to improve my chances at Docker.
Mhm.
So you can ask for that insight. We track that message, and then we notify you when they've responded, and we tie that all back to the opportunity at hand. Um, and then we do little things from more of an automated standpoint, like when you tell us when your interviews are coming up, we have a notification system that reminds you to prepare, encourages you, and helps you on how to prepare, and then delivers that content to you in a meaningful way on your mobile right before you walk into the interview.
Oh my goodness. That is awesome. I
Thanks,
feel
Helen.
like more people need to know about this app because from my own personal coaching, which I haven't been doing for that much, anymore. That's exactly what I do, and it's just so time consuming to do all of that background research and a lot of the first hand information, like the first connection information, I don't have access to. Like, I don't know who you're connected with and your connections connected to whom within the company. So, having an app that integrates all of that information and store in one place is extremely valuable.
Yeah, and I think, there's a difference between researching for hours and having a lot of knowledge, but not knowing how or when to use it,
Yeah.
right? And knowing when to ask the right question or when to, share insights about their competitor that you're aware of. And so we're really, we're hoping to drive an updated behavior set in the job search and a mentality. So I think that's really the challenge ahead of us. I mean, behavioral change is very hard. So, with our early users, the ones that have, you know, bared with us and all the bugs and being an early application, we're seeing extremely high engagement. And I think the part that stands out to me the most is, our users are quick to refer people they trust the most, their siblings, their partners, and they're sharing their personal information and they're bringing them to hirepool and saying, you have to use this app. And, being the person who has this vision of helping a billion people one day, I know we can't do it alone. To sort of see that means a lot. It's a daunting task, but I believe we can do it with help from people like you.
Good, good, good. Now, I know this is sort of like a one-off question. I personally have not seen any platform like this. Recently, I think Branch Out was trying to do something like that, and it just completely flopped. Now, for your platform, are there similar product out there? And if so, how do you differentiate yourself from the other products?
Yeah, I mean, I think the most common product we talk about is a spreadsheet. I mean,
Yeah.
people use spreadsheets to organize their job search, so that's an easy one. But beyond that, there are some applications in the world that you'll hear about. There's Job Track and Job Hero and Hunter with no E. And we appreciate these applications. We think that they're validation around the organization problem. And we do believe solving that problem does reduce anxiety and build confidence. So we think they're providing value. I think that what we would see as differentiation is beyond organization, the meaningful impact you make in somebody's job search. We think that rests with us. So the idea of really training people,
Hmm.
improving interview performance, really empowering those buying decisions towards the back half of the process.
Yeah.
I think if you look at our applications over time, that's where the biggest difference will prove out.
Nice, nice, nice. So again, the code that you offer to our listeners, it is hirepool.io. Is it backslash karma?
So no, but if you go to hirepool.io and create an account,
Oh, right.
yep, they'll ask you for an access key, and that access key is just karma dash 920.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, thank you so much for your time. It's so exciting to speak with you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate what you're doing and all your contributions to the community.
Thank you.